Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also below this video, you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Neil, 10th Man, Brian's Logic, Adam Meakin, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
How are you?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Very well,
morning.
Neil. How are you, sir?
Very good to have you all. Any more niceties? Did you want to answer him, 10th?
I'm sorry, I just got back from getting tea. What did I miss?
Said, how are you?
No, I'm fine.
Hello.
Hey, Arwin.
Hey, Arwen.
Good to have you. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere-edge horizon, formerly known as the curve of the Earth?
You're going to need R for that. Best answer.
We all
They're
see.
caught in between a black swan and an R value.
Did we all catch Mitchell from Australia's show yesterday?
Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
It was.
Great.
I got him the. You're going to need R for that late. So I missed. I wasn't paying attention. It didn't sink in when Adam said, which he did because I watched the show again. He needs it today. Obviously, I didn't get that. And then when he was doing it, the bit, I was like, that's what he needed those things for. So I send them off to him there and then. I'm like, oh, damn. That was a waste of effort because he didn't get to use them. But just basically all of the panel saying you're going to need R for that.
So my R went in vain?
And no, he said it'll be used again. He did respond to the message after the fact, but obviously his show had been done then.
No, that was a great. I mean, he had the flow yesterday when he was doing that show. He had some mojo.
I think all of his shows are like that. He did say that at the end, and I
Yeah.
picked up on him saying, "Oh, this is one of my best shows." I'm like, I don't know about that. All of your shows are like this. He's always
No
in front
content.
of the. Go on.
Yeah. Content-wise, his shows are always great because he prepares and takes time, and he's a good presenter. But yesterday's show, there was a flow to it, and he sensed it. I sensed it. I think that's why he commented on it.
Well, I also thought that that particular show was extra content rich with a lot of interesting little factoids put together. Right? So normally he's more like easy rolling and just get beautiful views and response. This time he had like a lot of presentation happening and a lot of facts put together with that.
What's a
So-
factoid?
Yeah,
Well,
facts.
Not so much. I mean, yeah, definitely he had all the facts, but to take on over 30 objections and seamlessly go through each one and being astute and knowledgeable as he is about each of the subjects, it was fantastic.
Right. Talking about which, I thought that my show that I just finished was kind of like that as well. I did a really great show today. It treated so many things. I talked more about Flat Earth than I have in the combined last month.
Good for you, Alwyn.
Thanks. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
I was just going to say, I'm going to check it out.
Competition breeds success.
Well, it's the same. It's the same when you get a summary, and I say to you or Neil or Arvin says, "Man, Nathan, you just nailed it really good. And it just comes out naturally because you're basting in it every day. But sometimes it's a drudgery because you're dealing with an anti-flat earther. Another day you're dealing with one of us, and it's just a nice back and forth. And then the opportune time comes where the knowledge is there, the time invested on the subject matter has been emptied out, and all of a sudden you go on a rant. I wouldn't say it's a rant, it's more of a summary. And I say, well, that's a keeper. It's one of those shows for Mitchell.
You know, you don't realize how much you learn. I know I'm speaking for myself. Until I'm not on YouTube and I'm talking to somebody, I'm like, wow, where did all this come from? Oh, only for like 4 years of listening to this. It just comes out.
Yeah, I almost said Mitchell was well rehearsed, but he wasn't well rehearsed. I didn't say it because it's the wrong words. Yes, he'd got organised. Yes, he'd got all of his ducks in a row and asked in advance for things that he needed. But he knows what he needs. He knows what he's going to say about what he got when he had it, and he just presented it. So it wasn't that he's like gone through the motions of saying what he's going to say. He said it before 100 times. Formatting it into a slick manner, yeah, that takes time, effort, and skill. But by the same token, he just knows. He knows his stuff. And no one picked up on the subtlety of what happened after we praised Mitchell a moment ago. Arwen was like, yeah, but my show's also excellent. And yes, indeed, Arwen's Early Bird is excellent. But, obviously, Arwen's subtly picking up on the fact that there's, like, almost a new kid on the block. Not that Mitchell's in any way a new kid on the block, but you know what I'm driving at here, right? Mitchell's suddenly making a big impression, and Arwen's like, my show's good too.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. No, but I really appreciate his streams, and I am in the chats all the time.
I'm not going to start claiming it's crabs in a bucket or anything. You know, I'm not going to say you're trying to pull him down and don't go and see Mitchell. Come and see me. I'm much better. I'm not suggesting you're doing that, but by the same token, I am, because I'm saying, you know, the negative connotations. You've immediately absolved all of this, by the way, Arwen, so there's no dig attached. There would have been, depending on what you said in the last breath. But you're like, yeah, I'm very supportive, and that's how it should be. You know,
I didn't even take it that way from Marvin. I took it from Marvin that he had a similar type experience.
Exactly. I had a really good sleep this night. Very intense dreaming. It's suddenly like this beautiful sunny day again after it's been kind of gray for 3 days. And it's just, I was very inspired. And maybe it's the same flow of energy that Mitchell touched upon yesterday that I've touched today. I don't know.
Okay, well, that doesn't help me as much segue away from me suggesting people don't have the crabs in a bucket mentality of yanking each other down, rather building people up, which I'm pleased. I will use it as a segue because you've said exactly what I was going to say, just stole my thunder. But indeed, we should be building each other up. We're a very small community.
Listen, you step up your game.
Hey,
if you're a good show, you step up your game.
Hey, Brian.
Step it up.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was driving at, Neil. So I'm saying, yeah, maybe it'll kick you into gear, get you making thumbnails, etc., etc.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, hey, everybody.
But then it can have a bad effect, because when I'm talking to my son, sometimes the other day my wife had to say, Neil, you're not QE. So, you know, you have to be careful who you're dealing with.
Oh, did you start calling him a fundy muppet?
I was yelling at him, yeah.
Oh, right, I didn't expect the answer to be yes. I was being sarcastic.
Because it gets so frustrating sometimes, because he's smart and he understands, and I know he knows, but oh well. But my wife had to say, you're not QE.
Well, that was Earth curve question. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No, you're going to need R for that too. You're going to need R for all these questions, except for that one where they only observe. And then you're still going to need it if they start guessing.
The show must go on, Kent.
I know. Just summarizing it. I'm getting my flow. Come on.
I might as well get that one out of the way then. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
No, no evidence, no scientific evidence.
But the
Is
sheer.
there
Go on.
all right, thanks, Ted. I was going to say, is there any of those for anything they claim
No.
in any part of their model?
Oh, right. Now
Well,
with that
if
qualifier, no.
Well, if they're going to claim scientific method for part of what they claim, then we're going to be fully within our rights to say you got to apply it to everything you claim.
There's nothing that's
Correct.
going to link back to heliocentric, claimed to be proof of a sphere, that has scientific validity attached. No, Brian.
Yeah, because, that is, like, we're speaking about the natural world. Natural science is about cause and effect. The scientific method establishes whether something is the cause of the effect. That's what we've been talking about for 6 years, heading for 7. I mean, not one viable hypothesis from any of these people, for any of these claims.
And it's born out of experimentation, right, Brian?
Well, if you're going to claim something in the natural world, you have to be able to either prove it through scientific method, or you have to be able to admit that it's not something you can prove through scientific method. Like seeing the stars rotate above us and saying it's us rotating. That's not something you can put through scientific method.
Yeah, but they won't even speak to you if they know that you're a flat earther. Astrophysicists will not even talk to you.
I'm talking about everybody, everyone who believes in this, everyone who makes the claims, whether they are Joe Normal to astrophysicists, whoever. There's not one viable hypothesis, not anything. All they have ever produced is claims and calculations and nothing else.
So from the super chat, James Richards says, no hypothesis in any of those fields. Strictly pseudoscience, or better yet, quote unquote, story time. Right on. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Yeah, well, we got to the moon because the amount of gas that was purchased and used. No?
Well, they didn't even say purchase, they just said calculated. Do you know what I mean? That was Neil deGrasse Tyson, wasn't it?
Oh, they didn't even buy it?
Well, I didn't
no,
see a
that's a
receipt.
Well, the reason they don't talk about it is because someone knowledgeable will say, can I see your hypothesis? Can I see the scientific method that you went through to make such a claim? That's why they won't talk about it, because they never went through it.
Well, if you notice something that our opposition have been doing for 6 years is they always try to scattergun with claims because they never want to get held down to one scientifically. Not practically or scientifically, they never want to get held down to it because it's not something they can actually support. Practically, they can only ever show false equivalency. And when it comes to scientifically, they got nothing but calculations. So they got false equivalency for physical demonstration, or they've got calculation. They don't have an actual demonstration of their claim, or scientific evidence, or both to back any of their claims.
Yeah, but what do calculations prove?
It just says it only exists in the math. Right?
Well, yeah.
So then they prove math.
Well, it only exists in the math, but now you got to transfer that to reality. And if it can't transfer over to reality, well, that's a nice little problem you sketched out on a piece of paper, but it has nothing to do with the world I live in.
Right. Like, how are you going to keep up with the unicorn feed through the winter, given that they eat magical starfish? Now let's calculate how many magical starfish we need to keep the unicorn. What is it? A herd of unicorn? God only knows. A pride? Let's call it a pride. How are we going to keep the pride of unicorn going through the winter with the magical starfish? Let's calculate that. Now, when someone comes along and says, yeah, but where does that translate into reality? You go, well, it doesn't. Well, it's the same principle. It's not translatable into reality. Mathsing dark matter or gravity or any of the other nonsense stories that they come up with. Show us it in reality. Actually physically show it us. So we can do some physics with it. Oh, well, it's here in the maths. It's part of our prediction. And look, now we've observed this, it proves our prediction in the maths. It's like, no, it doesn't.
You know the way they're always asking for, every time they can't deal with something that one of us show them. I've personally dealt with this many, many times. If they can't debunk what you're showing practically, they'll start asking you for maths. Now, in my most recent video, doesn't matter what it's about, I gave some maths. So I added calculations of angular size changes of things, and at what distance something of that size would disappear. And I showed evidence that the closer your eyes are to the surface, to a horizontal surface, then the faster something will reach the 0.02 angular size limit of the human eye, and then go beyond that. No one addressed it. All I got was negative attacks, and I got way more dislikes than likes on the video. But one person did, and that person told me that there's a ship that he sees leave wherever he lives all the time, and this ship is 60 meters high, and that it disappears a quarter of the distance that it should disappear due to its angular size. So what that is there is I'm supposed to have an argument with him then about his claim of distance and size of ship. And we're supposed to have a calculation argument that he will win because he already has a story, right, that's based on a claim that's only just a story. But is he ever going to show me this and come up with all the details necessary, where he is, his location, his exact height above sea level, the ship, videoing the ship leave, show everything on ship tracker, go through all that? Is he going to do all that? Is he fuck? Sorry for the language. You know,
what is it going to prove anyway?
Well, yeah, but this is my point. They want maths and calculations for 6 years, and when you give it to them, what did they do? They make up some lie that, right, he made up a story where he could not lose. And part of his story, right, was that when the ship goes over the curve, right, that was part of his story, right? So his calculations are already involving a globe out, right? And this is something he's supposed to see all the time, like nearly every day. You know, is he ever going to support any of that with any actual physical evidence to back up his calculation? No. So the point I'm making is, when it gets to the point of giving them what they're asking for, all they can come up with is a lie and nothing to support it. Because he wanted me to have an argument with him about some calculations, and he knows he's going to win because he's already done the calculations that will make sure he'll win. But I want to see the video of his claim and all the details to it. Is he going to come up with that? No way. But he'll tell any amount of lies, because that's what these people are. Scum.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No evidence for distance to the sun, but I am interested in premature sycamore pollination in the north of England, though.
I just made that up, you know, when Fundy's layout.
I know. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, when you have some random claim that you've not made any claim about put to you by an anti-flat earther or glober, that would be to say, how do you prove star rotation on a flat earth? You're like, what are you talking about? I haven't got a claim that utilises star rotation to prove that the earth is flat. That is not a claim I'm making. So you can't do it then, Fundy, would normally be the response you'd get. You're like, I haven't made a claim about it. What's your claim? How do you claim star rotation when you affirm the consequent, assume you're on a sphere to begin with, and then say you've got antipodal positioning with 2 rotational points forming an axis because you've just assumed you travelled antipodal when going south? Yeah? How do you use stars to prove it? No, tell me how it works on a flat Earth. So that's the kind of level of drongo that you're dealing with. So typically, what I used to do, I haven't done it for a while, you say, well, how do you prove premature sycamore pollination in the north of England on a globe? And they scratch their head, and suddenly they've just had the exact same scenario put back at them. A claim they haven't made, in fact, is completely made up. There's no such thing as premature sycamore pollination in the north of England on a globe. I just completely made it up. But yet they'll try and justify it on a globe because they're thick. They don't realise that their burden of proof has just literally been twisted into a new example and put back at them, albeit with something that I've literally made up on the spot, or had when I did the first time. The distance to the sun? Anybody?
No, nothing.
Well, I have been told in recent days, and I was told only, well, in recent times, I say, because I was told this only a while ago as well, that you can triangulate it if you have 2 different people in 2 different locations. You can determine its height above the flat Earth. Now, none of them were able to come up with how an angle gives you a vertical height, right? As opposed to just an angular size between the bottom of the sun and the horizon, and of that free space, the angular free space. But when it came to an actual vertical height, none of them, before they ever got to their BS calculation, none of them were able to give me, it's just going to be in feet and inches, miles, what's it going to be in? How did you verify that, this is going to be what it's going to be? They don't have anything. But supposedly you can do that. So basically, if we wanted to do that, we could do it, is what they're saying. And then we could come up with some ad hoc calculation of the height that we choose to believe in. And then they could attack that and treat us like the fools we would be for coming up with such bullshit. Sorry.
Well, it's taking a principle that operates perfectly. So, for instance, triangulation, right? You're pointing your sextant at a star, and then you're getting a 90 degree to your feet with a line drawn between you and the GP of the star. Well, that forms a triangle. Well, it's not actually that much of a logical step to say, okay, why don't I just use that exact measurement to give me the height of the star? And then come up with a 3,500, whatever it is, height. The only problem is, that isn't a location that you can then get in your boat and go to. You can't then traverse that line of that triangle to confirm that that is actually the distance. Now, in terms of mapping, in terms of navigation, you will end up at where you need to be when you do this process. But you don't, in the process, need to infer the height of the star. You just follow the process and assume they're all at the same height, and then get the distance measurement to the GP of the star so you can get all the overlapping points to give you your fix and know where you are, to know where to go. It doesn't mean you need the height of the star in that, does it?
No, and if the star is at your zenith, let's say you start with it at your 90 degrees, right, directly above you, and then you move 20 degrees, you go out, move away from it, then it's at, you have a 70 degree angle to it. Then you could say, well, if I multiply the amount I'm away from it by the amount of 69 statute miles per degree, then it's this height. But then if I go another 30 degrees away from it, let's say in distance, so then it's not 70. Let's just say it's I'm at 40, like it's 50 degrees. Not 70 degrees or something like that. Then, if I calculate it then, with my distance, it's going to be higher. Do you know what I mean? You can't. You look, if that star is at your zenith, right, you have no idea what height that is. You move away from it, let's just say you move away from it 20 degrees worth of distance, right, at 69 statute miles a degree. Does that tell you what height that star is at? If you want, you can pretend that star is at such a height because you're only 20 degrees away from it. That makes it that height, right? Because the star is, let's say the star is 70 degrees high, is 70 degrees above the horizon. So that makes the star blah, blah, blah multiplied by 69 miles. That's thousands of miles high. But what about when the star is at 20 degrees above the horizon, when you move really far away from it? What height is it then?
We got lower.
You know what I mean? Yeah, well, it's not the same height as it was when you thought it was before. Because, you know why? Because you have no idea what height it is. All you know is that when it's at your zenith, it's directly above your head. When you move away, it appears to get lower. That's the amount you know and nothing else, yeah, isn't it? Now, you can get another person in a different place, and they can pretend like you can pretend. You can both pretend together, right? And you can all pretend. And then what you do, if you want, you can use the AE map as well and make complete knobheads out of yourself. You know what I mean? Because that's what they want us to do.
Absolutely correct. Now, when we utilize a tool that has geographic implications by way of the axioms that you must accept to use the tool in the first instance, it's only going to go one way in terms of what we're using it for. That is to say, it's demonstrating a flat plane. It's utilizing a flat plane by way of the fact that it uses straight lines. Now, you beautifully summarised this, Brian, and I'm glad it started with a row because it really cemented it in all our brains when you got very frustrated about the fact that you take all optical aspects out of this measurement when you do the height correction. When you drop your line down to the ground, suddenly you're just dealing in geometry, right?
Yeah. Horizon depth correction. No more optics.
Yep. So you've just got a straight line between you and the GP of the star, wherever it is, in geometric terms. Straight and flat. What's that? We've got to count for optics. No. That isn't what we're doing. We're doing the dip correction to make it purely geometric.
Yeah. That's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is that you're calculating a straight line distance along the surface of the Earth. And what's the best way to do that is to have the line at the surface of the Earth, isn't it? Not at your eyes, if you want to be precise. And the more they do that, the more precision they get. And the better the mariners and the more experienced they are, the better precision they get. But if they don't do that part, no matter how good they are, they'll be out. They might be in the ballpark, but they won't be precise.
Exactly. Factoring in the optics can be done, but the whole purpose of the corrections that you're making in terms of height correction, otherwise known as dip, is to take it further away from the optics and closer to the geometric. To the point where when you've made the correction, you're making it to make it a geometric perfect triangle.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's an absolute triangle with a flat base, assume flat base working along a flat surface. And, you have a line from underneath your boat, the water underneath your boat, to whatever, 2,000 miles to the GP. You have another line from that up to the star, and another line from the star to you as an angle. Or, sorry, back to where the line left underneath your boat. So the vertex goes of the angle goes from your eye line down to the water underneath your boat. And that gives you precision. If you don't do that, no matter how good you are, as I said, you won't have the same precision.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Well, I have seen...
Morning, fellas.
Sorry.
Hey, Chocolate.
Hey, Chocolate. I have seen absolutely no evidence of a reverse... what do they call them on bikes? You know, the lights on the bikes? Where you on a push bike, on a cycle bike? Remember?
Reflector.
No, you remember the...
Reflectors.
No, not reflectors.
Spokes.
Remember the things...
Handlebars.
No, you push them onto the wheel and it turns a wheel. And it gives you
Okey-dokies.
power.
Dynamo.
Dynamos. I had to...
Hold on. Everyone be quiet. Hold on. Is it dynamo?
Yeah.
Not well remembered now.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, because what they're speaking about is a reverse dynamo. It's the only time that we know about in history where electricity creates magnetism before magnetism creates electricity.
Well, that will generate a conversation.
That'll put a charge to it, that's for sure.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Before we go there, Nathan, can you go to Master B to the 29-second mark of this video to cover the dip correction? You don't have to play too much of it.
Or whose video is it?
It's somebody else's, but like you always do like 5 seconds or something, if you want to.
Have a little looky.
This is how fast YouTube is with Brave.
Damn you,
29-second mark.
By the what? 20 what?
29-second mark.
Next, you need to estimate your dip correction. This is simply the height from the sea level of the sextant during observations, or, if you're on land, the height from the ground to the sextant.
Got on to here. Perfect.
That's it.
Sorry if that
Ground to the section.
Sorry if that blasted your ears out in the audience.
Wasn't that bad. It was nice and loud and clear.
Did we get scientific evidence of gravity or what?
What's that?
No scientific evidence. What is gravity anyway? For years I was told it's keeping me to the earth, otherwise I would float away.
What, like gas does?
Yeah, maybe
gas
that's it.
seems
I
to
would
do that.
become a gas.
You become weightless like gas.
Yep, gravity is what's keeping me grounded.
What about gas? Gas does that.
Can I
No,
pass
it
on that?
doesn't work with
Gas is anti-gravity.
It doesn't work with gas, but yeah, he passes gas.
So no scientific evidence of gravity? No? Moving on? I've actually forgotten where we are in housekeeping. I've done it out of order completely. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
No one in Discord?
Sent this screenshot twice. What's this all about?
Yeah, this is interesting. There's a chat going on with Sleeping Warrior and Virus. And I found this funny that Virus says you don't get the globe claims right, when he doesn't even get the globe claims right.
All right, it's just his projection that you wanted to show us.
That's what you call a real troll, isn't it? Just every day, same nonsense. Doesn't even know his own claims. But yet, he just wants to be all in our section every day. It's kind of funny.
He considers himself a mathematician. He considers himself highly educated, more than we are. We're dumb flat earthers to him. But he keeps getting embarrassed every day.
I think he's just an attention getter because he's here every day and he doesn't even represent his side.
Ken, come on, that's you want that attention? You look like a fool day in and day out. I don't see it any other way.
I don't want that attention.
No, but I'm saying he can't think that he looks good day in and day out because he don't.
But you get the attention.
Is this a coma virus they're talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about virus.
Yeah, I heard. Listen, I think it was yesterday's show. He was saying that the radius line can be geodesic.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a curved radius. Wow.
Yeah, that was one of his openers.
Where did he go after that? Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, but last week when you asked him, and I as well asked him, is the radius straight or curved? He said it was straight, so he flip-flopped already.
Yep. He thinks by looking at stuff that makes it straight.
Yeah, but I mean, a curved radius, when someone goes that far,
But
like,
light
there's nowhere-
bends.
Yep, light bends.
Yeah, but how can you go as far as a curved radius after that? Like, I don't know how you can talk to him after that. Like, it's like, okay then, I don't know what to say. Like that, yeah, it's a killer. Like I don't have any argument against that. For that, if you know what I mean. It's like a curved radius, right? Where can you go? You have to go into crazy land, don't you?
Yeah, that's when you leave him alone.
That's exactly
Well,
where he landed.
what was driving me nuts is that he couldn't figure out the difference between not much and zero. Because apparently he was telling us there's not much Coriolis at the equator, and then somebody else chimed in and said, well, the gold claims there's zero Coriolis at the equator. And he was like, look, see, that's the gold claim. But Guy, you just told us it's not much. Not much and zero are different.
Things. Yep.
I don't know if you realize that yet, but
My checking account.
try to catch up.
Hey, chocolate. My checking account, there's not much in there.
and also zero.
And also zero at the same time.
What the fuck?
Yeah, if you got zero in your banking account, you're not going to say I don't have much in there. You're going to say I'm at zero.
And then the not much that he was telling us, then he's like, oh, let's figure it out. Well, how did you figure out it's not much?
What he was trying to do was trying to rope us into giving him a few parameters so he could turn it into our claim at some stage. So it's like, let's do it together. Because together it can be our claim. And whenever you say something that I want to latch onto, it'll be your claim. Because it's your thought experiment with a balloon, isn't it? No, it's not my thought experiment with a balloon. It's me asking you about your claim that Earth turns underneath and why it doesn't turn underneath a balloon. But that suddenly becomes my thought experiment for his claim, because they absolutely, this is the universal truth with anybody who's even slightly competent at arguing from a flat Earth standpoint for Coriolis drift. They must at some stage make it your claim. So the burden of proof reversal fallacy is prevalent whenever Coriolis comes up. It'll just get shifted across to, so you're saying Earth should turn underneath? Just listen out for that. Next time you're arguing about the fact that nothing's turning underneath an object in the air to show drift, and you point it out and they go, you think Earth should turn underneath a balloon? You're an idiot if you think Earth should turn under a balloon. Suddenly they've repositioned their claim that Earth should turn under a balloon into your claim as the flat earther. So then they can challenge your claim. Why are you making the absurd claim that Earth would turn under a balloon? Why would you think that? That's crazy speak. Let's attack your flat Earth claim that Earth turns under a balloon. It's like, hello, why would I as a flat earther claim Earth turns under a balloon? You just did. You told us how we say it. Therefore, it's become your claim. Let's go through your thought experiment.
Yeah, but I can't tell you how many times you've said, this is not my claim. This is what the heliocentric model claims. How many times do you have to say that? And they still say, so you're saying the Earth turns underneath. No, I don't think the Earth is turning at all.
Well, that's why I put up that screenshot, because he says that Sleeping Warrior doesn't understand the globe claims. When it's him.
Well, I think it's the case
that's the hill it seems he's going to die on. This you don't understand when he clearly doesn't understand. It's hilarious.
I think it's a case of get the public as much as possible pin their absolutely ridiculous claims that the Earth is rotating. Pin that underneath things, right? Pin that onto us, and make it seem like we're stupid for making the claim that the Earth should be rotating underneath things. We're not making that claim. That's never been our claim. Our claim is completely opposite. We're pointing out your claim, but your claim is so ridiculous, their claim is so ridiculous, that they have to project it onto us and try and tell people we're make it out as if we're stupid for expecting that.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. It sounds so bad when we repeat their claim. They can't have it, so they say we're making it. No, we don't want that. We're not.
Exactly.
No, that's you guys.
Yeah, we point out very succinctly that globe, Earth claims Coriolis effect. Coriolis effect is the effect induced as you turn underneath stuff. Ergo, the globe claims we turn underneath stuff. So, you put it to a anti-flat earther. The globe claims we turn underneath stuff, and we don't see that happen. And their brain scrambles and goes, so you're saying Earth should turn underneath stuff? No, I'm not. That's a globe claim that I'm highlighting so I can debunk it when I point out nothing's turning underneath anything.
You know what I noticed a lot more of with Virus yesterday? There was a lot more of that laughter yesterday. I think 5 or 6 times he said, yeah, go ahead, Def. A lot more laughter coming out of him.
What I did notice is that, and this is a common trend, unfortunately, and I'm not attacking the lad, but there was a lad came in, you could be listening now, I don't know who it was, came in from Discord and said that the globe claims that there's no Coriolis effect at the equator, and that Virus had claimed that there was some, right? There was some, right, or a small bit or whatever. And Nathan corrected him saying, no, there is claimed to be Coriolis effect at the equator. There's claimed to be 15 degrees an hour everywhere, right? Right? That's how they explain sunrise and sunset, right? The lad, I didn't hear him after that, if he said that after that, but I think he just kind of went quiet after that. But all that is that he's on Discord, this lad, and he's arguing with these people. And every time Coriolis comes up, they're talking about this complete globiolus nonsense that they've been pushing for years and not addressing the actual Coriolis effect. And it's at a point, because I bet you that lad does know what Coriolis was from the way he said it. He does understand it. He has been listening in. But he's been duped. And I don't mean this in a bad way, because it can happen to any of us. Duped because of arguing with these people on Discord into the position where he actually said that their claim is that there is no Coriolis effect at the equator, when that is not true, right? But because of arguing with these people, probably he could be arguing with them several times a week on Discord, because of arguing with these people, even though he himself, I'm pretty sure from what he said, knows what the Coriolis effect is, right? And could explain it. But because of arguing with these people, he comes out with their globiolus claim.
Yes, you're right, Brian.
No,
basically,
actually, that was me, and I was just pointing out that he can't hold, like he was holding both positions at the same time. I know exactly what you're talking about globiolus, and I'm holding him to either or, like take a position. You know, I even did that after the show was over, and yeah, he kept pretending that he was trying to pin it onto us. You know.
Yeah, it does get complicated.
Which was
because,
dishonest.
Because we're trying to hold him to his previous arguments as opposed to globe claims. So it's thrice as complicated, because you've got the globe claim, the anti-flat earth claim, and his claim from the day before where it won't be affected by vast travel. So correct me if I'm wrong, almost exactly. You're saying, well, I'm just trying to get him to tie to a position, regardless of it being the incorrect position. So if he's going to tie to an anti-flat earth position of globiolus, then let's tie you to that position so we can pull it apart. Am I correct?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to do. I even clarified.
Well, it was very confusing. Get out.
I think it was great.
You actually accused me of
illustrated the flip flopping immediately.
That's why I shut up.
No, it's fair enough. Unless you've got 25 to 30 seconds for every single counter argument against an anti-flat earther to put in a string of disclaimers about whose position is being clarified and how that position doesn't work, then it's going to be immediately spun into you've got the wrong globe position, or it's your claim suddenly that the Earth doesn't turn underneath at the equator. It's like, no, I'm trying to get the opponent to tie himself to his position. It's not suddenly my claim. But we're so used to anti-flat earthers doing it. When somebody from our own side says, the globe claims there's no Coriolis effect on the equator. It's like, no, that's not what the globe claims. The anti-flat Earth claims there's no drift to see on the equator. It's like, hang on, whoa. There's supposed to be drift. Our opponents tell us there wouldn't be any expected on the equator. What gives? Let's set them against each other. We don't even have to get involved anymore.
It could get
I don't know
really
if you guys
confusing,
could hear me.
I
was saying, sorry, buddy. Go ahead now. I'm sorry.
Almost exactly.
No, I'm just gonna quickly say that if you listen back, you'll find me actually clarifying and saying, no, that's not my position, right? But yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Chocolate.
That did come through. Maybe not to the G Plus channel, but it came through to the audience, or it will do when that show gets released tonight on my second channel. Subscribe today to Nathan Oakley channel. Go ahead, Chocolate.
Hey, you guys. Good morning.
I didn't even mind. I liked it because it illustrated the flip-flopping immediately. Like how you just went back and forth with us for 45 minutes saying, well, there's not much Coriolis at the equator. And then as soon as somebody says there's none, then you're like, look, there's none. What? You just told us it's not much. Now it's none, and you're cool with that? It just demonstrates how ridiculous their reasoning is, and how he doesn't even understand his claims.
Yeah, they have to hold two mutually exclusive positions. Hold on 1 second, almost. They have to hold two positions simultaneously. The position that Earth's going to give them Coriolis effect, again, I'll summarise, Earth turning underneath stuff, that's the standard globe claim. So they have to hold that position, it's the standard globe claim. However, because it doesn't happen, they also must hold the position that you wouldn't expect to see the globe claim. They must hold both. Now, obviously that requires a lot of cognitive processing to reposition whichever one they're not arguing to be the opponent's position, even though we don't hold either. I'm going to say it one more time. When it comes to this nonsense of Coriolis deflection, A claim of Earth turning underneath stuff to see 15 degrees an hour drift, and B, a claim from anti-flat earthers that we wouldn't expect to see drift, we can literally just set these two against each other. Go ahead, almost exactly. Then Stigoli's trying to get a word in.
Yeah, I was just saying that was the aim of what I was doing, to show that contradiction right there.
Yeah, I think we were all on the same hymn sheet. That very much came across, and I may well edit out that section for that very reason. Also, I got told off because it was quote-unquote a shit show by one of our own side, because we're going round and round and round and round and round in circles. Well, that guy exemplified what my opponent in that instance, Akuma Virus, is trying to achieve. Get it to the point where everyone around you so sick of it going round in circles with you not conceding that everyone wants to move on. And then he doesn't have to concede, right? Because he's turned it into a shit show where he just goes round and round in circles. And then he doesn't have to have the embarrassing defeat admitted to, or toddle on of his own volition after losing. None of those things. He'd rather stay for 4 hours than do that. But the guy in the wings is like, yeah, this is a shit show. Yeah, that's what they'll turn it into when they lose. And I'm here to highlight that. That's the point of the show. Go ahead, Scully.
Yeah.
Yep. And you don't like it, kick rocks.
Thanks, Nathan. Hey. That's right, Chocolate. Thanks, Nathan. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to introduce a new person that joined live stream, Debunking. He's a glober. He was saying that this was a circle jerk. There were no globers in chat, so I invited him in. Want to introduce yourself again, Debunking?
I think he's server muted.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yep. Sorry, you were on server mute. That's my fault.
Hey, hello.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Did you have an opinion on
what have me?
Good to have you. Did you have an opinion?
I don't have No, I just got here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Talking about at the point of concession, when somebody's obviously had their argument pulled to pieces, is it reasonable that they stay for 4 more hours, interjecting into everything when they've been proven wrong?
Probably not.
Seem like a reasonable guy.
Okay. Glad to hear it.
So what is
so
it?
Are you a believer in the globe, that it's spinning, and There's
Yeah,
gas
I mean
pressure.
that's what I've always been told. That's what I
Are you clicking something?
never really heard any contentions to that until discovered this whole flat Earth thing.
Almost exactly off mute clicking, or is it you? What's your name? Dig something. Dag something. Dagger Don?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good.
Are you clicking something?
Close enough.
Are you clicking something?
No.
Might be someone else on the panel.
Oh, okay.
Almost exactly. If you pop yourself on mute, I think there's some clicking sound coming from you or someone else.
Oh, it was him. I could hear it coming from his mic.
Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, it could be I have no idea what is clicking, but is it happening like as I speak?
No, you've got a microphone in front of you. The easiest thing is there's a mute button when anyone else is talking. Just try and keep yourself on mute. That way you don't crack open the gate with background noise and such.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Discord?
Yes, I am familiar with Discord.
Perfect. So just pop yourself on mute if someone else is talking or you're replying. Just try and cover it with your mouse button. That'd be brilliant. So what exactly do you...
Right.
You said it's what you've been told. But is there any specific proofsy that you've got to offer for us that we could take apart?
I mean, I don't really have proofs. I think it's kind of hard to provide like 100% evidence, but it seems to make sense to me.
What part of it makes sense?
A spinning water ball makes sense.
So like for example, like
off
I like to
without
draw like
interrupting
maps,
him.
right? Like fantasy maps that don't exist, and when you draw maps, you have to consider things like plate tectonics, ocean currents, wind patterns.
Yeah.
And all that makes sense with when you're drawing maps, you have to take the globe into consideration, like how the spinning
Why do you
affects
do
the
that?
wind.
Sure
That's
about
always
that?
what I've been told.
Hold on. Do you?
I mean, yeah, that's how I do it. I don't know.
You
I don't
take
know a
the
lot of
globe into
people who
consideration when you make maps.
flat Earth. Yes.
Can
You
I
make maps.
maps?
Can I ask him a couple of questions?
Hold on. You make maps.
Yeah, like not real ones, just made up ones for fun,
Okay. And on those maps you have drop.
Do I have what?
Drop.
Drop?
Yes, drop.
Drop. What do you mean by drop?
Do you not understand the basic premise that it is to be on a sphere? Because this is going to be a pretty short conversation if you don't understand the fundamental basics of being on a sphere, something you think is just true. I say drop, you go, what? Yeah, drop. 8 inches per mile squared drop in every direction if you're on a sphere. Drop.
You mean
any
the
of your
curvature,
maps...
right? The drop
Yeah,
of
I'm
curvature,
clarifying.
right?
You didn't understand. You asked me with an upward inflection. Now I'm clarifying. Yeah, drop.
Right.
That would be 8 inches per mile squared in all directions if you believe you're on a fantasy sphere ball. Do any of your maps incorporate that?
Well, no, because you draw it on a rectangle projection.
What? You think it makes sense? Stop talking.
Well, actually,
Stop.
You asked me.
That means shut up.
Told me to.
Shh.
Right.
Stop talking. To be on a sphere would require drop in every direction 8 inches per mile squared. It should be and would be on your map if it was real. You haven't got it. It isn't there, so it's flat. No drop on your map. So even your own bloody maps prove it's flat. No drop.
Well, maps are two-dimensional.
So no drop then.
Well, I guess if you're talking about curvature, you do have to at the poles. You do have to account for.
Sorry, guys.
That. When I draw
what are those
poles,
little rings? Sorry. Hello. What are the little rings called around mountains to show elevation lines? What are they called?
What are the rings?
Yeah, the little rings. You have little rings around mountains that show heights on them on maps. Do you not know what I'm talking about? I thought you were a cartographer.
No, I'm not a cartographer. I do it.
You make maps for fun.
I mean, I've drawn like height maps. I use the different colors to represent the different heights. But I don't know
so you could show drop then. So they are capable, despite being two-dimensional pieces of paper, of showing drop and height. You can show how high.
You're not showing curvature. You're showing height.
Hello. Yeah,
hello.
Middle of sentence. Hello. Yeah, so you can show drop then. You could show how much you could drop down. Hello, middle of a sentence. What's your malfunction? What's your problem? What's your problem?
Was it a rhetorical question?
Middle of my sentence. You're going to ask if I'm rhetorical. I haven't finished yet. I'll try again. Third time's a charm. So you can show drop on a map then. You could show how high a mountain was and with your color coding, you could show that there's a area below it lower than it. So you can show drop in two-dimensional maps. Do you have Earth curve drop 8 inches per mile squared colored in your map?
Can I answer now, or are you still talking?
What, my specific question with an end and a pause to it? Do you have drop on your map? You've already answered no. You've then said it wouldn't show drop. I've pointed out that maps do show drop. You've said they've got colour coding. So do you have the colour coding for Earth drop or not?
I have the color coding for elevation, not for Earth curvature.
So no drop then. No Earth curve drop. Just topography. No drop. Flat.
Exactly.
Nathan,
Sorry. Who's going to white knight for this scumbag? He's just admitted that he's not got any Earth curve drop, and now we've got a white knight talking through him.
You never shown the Earth curve on a...
Whoever that was, you're getting muted. I was in the middle of a conversation. Whoever you are, shut up. So, dude, no drop in your map then. You can show drop. You show it in terms of topography, but you don't show Earth curve drop. Correct?
No, it's not correct.
So flat then.
Huh?
So flat then. Are you deaf?
You just yelled it, but I'm having trouble hearing you. Like, just being
So
honest, I'm not
it's
trying to mess
flat then, no Earth curve then, no 8 inch per mile squared then. It's flat.
So if the Earth was a globe,
it would have drop.
A 2D map.
It would have drop.
You're saying the map would have drop?
Yeah, that's why I asked you if your map had drop, and it doesn't. You've got topography showing drop, but not Earth curve drop.
Makes sense.
Sorry, why are you muttering through me? So it would have Earth curve drop. Yeah. Don't immediately leave a pause to not mutter through me and then start muttering through me immediately. It would have drop if Earth was dropping away from you. It doesn't. You don't plot it on your maps, but they are definitely capable of showing it. With elevation profiles.
Can you show me it?
Elevation profile. Do you know what that is?
Elevation does not show curvature.
So you don't think drop is a drop then? What do you think drop means?
No, I think when you say drop, you mean
when I say drop, I don't say drop. Earth curve is the thing suggesting drop. It's not what I'm saying, Dumbo. That's your claim. Don't say I'm saying it. I'm not.
Sure.
So you're saying drop, you just don't have it on your map?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you're saying drop and you don't have it on your map. So your map doesn't show Earth curve, your map is flat, but it's definitely capable of showing it, it just doesn't have any.
So how could...
So why are you asking me something? So you don't have any Earth curve in your map? Don't ask me something.
I've not met a single cartographer.
Don't tell me who you've met, just confirm you haven't got drop in your map.
I don't.
Well, so it's flat then. No Earth curve, no 8 inch per mile squared then. Why the hell are you believing you're on a sphere when there's no sphericity in your map?
Dude, I'm not following.
Dude, don't call me fucking dude. Oi, brain dead retard with a sphere belief. Don't call me dude, I'll call you fuckwit. Fuckwit, there's no drop in your map. Call me dude. Call me sir. Are you deaf? You'll address me as sir. Not dude. Okay, dipshit? You don't have any drop in your map, dipshit. Want to call me dude again, dipshit?
Probably not.
Good. Yeah, you better bleeding not. So, no Earth curve drop in your map. Now show me one that does have it.
I can't show you.
So no map shows Earth curve? They're all flat then? Hello? Yeah. Do you need the White Knight to help you? Or are you done?
Bring him in.
Are you done?
I answered your question.
Yeah, you told me how flat your maps were, even though they have elevation profiles. Yeah, they can show drop, but they don't show Earth curve drop. Why would they? Well, because it's drop that's capable of being depicted, and it isn't. Which one's got it? None of them. So they're all flat. Why was it that you think you're on a sphere again? Because you were told?
Yeah, that's...
Well, that makes you a retard, because your maps you're making haven't got any Earth curve in them, retard. Go and tell the people who told you they're wrong. Your maps don't have any Earth curve.
Got it.
Good. Sit down, shut up. Dr. Bob, White Knight, extraordinaire. What do you want?
Hey, dude, how you doing?
Hey,
I wanted to make arrangements.
Hey, Slaphead. How are you doing, Slaphead?
Talk about.
Hey, Slaphead. How are you doing?
Learn a little bit about
Slaphead. You're not going to get acquainted with these names. You call me dude, I'll call you Slaphead. How about that?
Hey, we got Slappy and Slaphead.
Slaphead is you. You are Slaphead. If you're going to call me dude, I'll call you Slaphead, or you can call me Nathan. I think we're reasonably well acquainted.
All right, Nathan, you can call me
Excellent
Bob.
work. Good dog.
I'm in.
Good dog. Yeah, that's right. You meet my demands immediately, like the good subservient little bitch you're going to be while you're here.
It's reasonable.
Good dog. Yeah, that's right. You will call me Nathan when I demand it.
About celestial navigation.
Yeah. You already made clear you're in your subservient little position, Bob. So where'd you get a straight line for a sextant on a globe?
When would you like to talk about that? Because
now,
you only have a few.
Are you fucking thick? Where would you get a straight line considering that there's always atmosphere for a sextant? Go.
When would you like to schedule the talk?
Now, you dumb shit, you're talking to me. Are you retarded? You're having the conversation with me now. Where'd you get a straight line for a sextant considering you've got sphere-shaped hair?
I'm at the start of your show. Would that be good?
We're talking now, Dumbo.
Is 9 o'clock tomorrow morning?
We're talking right now.
Good for you.
So you can't tell me now where you get a straight line from, coward?
No, I got things to do.
You got things to do, but you're here talking to me, just not answering a simple question. Where'd you get a straight line for a
Well,
sextant?
you haven't responded to my request.
My request is where you get a straight line for a sextant. You made an hour presentation for my compadres on Bullbusters. Now I'm asking you a straight question about your straight line for a sextant on a sphere. Where'd you get it?
Well, you won't leave your echo chamber, so I had to...
Sorry, is this going to be about my echo chamber, about the sextant and its straight line and where you get it on a sphere? Third time asking.
When would you like me to come on the show, Nathan?
You're here now. Are you thick? You're literally on the show now. You're asking me when I want you to come on. You're here now. Where'd you get a straight line when you've got atmosphere on a globe?
Choice is any day this week at the start.
My choice is I'm talking to you now. I'm going to repeat my question for the fourth time. Where'd you get a straight line for a sextant in atmosphere?
You put the time you want to talk with me in the...
Now, that's my time. I'm asking you for the fifth time where you get a straight line for a sextant on a sphere, considering you've got atmosphere, coward. Does he run? Does he run away?
Of course he ran. Of course he ran.
Yo, bitches on the globe side. Go on, whoever that was.
I don't know why he thinks this needs to be an appointment. It's going to end real quick. He could
Dr.
just
Bob?
stay on now.
Because he's Dr. Bob. And he thinks I should schedule with him when the subservient little bitch immediately met my demand to call me what I told him to call me. Yeah? Then he thinks he's going to be getting me to make an appointment with him. You've come to me, bitch. You're already here. Getting a teabagging with one question about where the hell you get a straight line from. And what did I get as a response? It's an echo chamber. Oh, right, so you're not a glober debating with me right now? No, I'm here to make an appointment. Yeah, the appointment's now. It's a live show, Dumbo. And you didn't answer my question. Where you get a straight line from an atmosphere, now did you, coward? Yeah, that was how Bob got on with me. No hour-long presentation required. Where'd you get a straight line in atmosphere? I need to make an appointment. This is an echo chamber. Well done, Bob. Good job. Good dog.
By the way, for future people, all appointments are the show starts 9 a.m. Eastern time. Just pop on.
Show's live now.
Don't be a cornball and come here and ask for an appointment. If you're here, you're here. Cornball. Fucking idiot.
Nice distraction. I'm sure everybody watching thought, wow, yeah, it was totally reasonable when they're talking to him to ask for an appointment, when asked where he gets a straight line on a globe in atmosphere. Perfectly reasonable response to ask for an appointment, or claim the host has got an echo chamber when it's literally him there on the globe side, anti-flat earth in reality, arguing with me on the flat earth side. But yet, is he actually going to answer a question about an hour-long presentation he made, or is he going to try and make an appointment for a later date? He could have just given me the answer there and then, right? You'd think it would be simple. You'd think with a globe belief he'd have all the truth in the world behind him to just slap me about with the truth about where he gets a straight line from. Right, Bob? No, I think we need to make an appointment. Yeah, okay, this time tomorrow. I'm here daily, dickhead. anytime you want to come back and tell me where you get a straight line in atmosphere, sphere-shaped air, I'll be here to listen to your answer. Yeah, Bob, yeah. I'm sure you'll have one in a hurry, right? Maybe you'll make a really long video about me, having come and asked me for my attention on my show, and then tried to get me to make an appointment with you. Nah. No, I don't need an appointment with a quack. I'm good, thanks. I do need to know where you get a straight line from on a sphere-shaped air-based globe. That's what I need to know. That's precisely what I asked you 5 times. Didn't you hear me?
I take it this is the same Bob who said that the sextant is a tool that measures angles, and then right after that said it can't measure angles.
Yes.
Yeah, so based on his claim that it's a tool that measures straight lines to give him angles, it's a fairly reasonable question to ask him where he gets that straight line from on a globe now, isn't it? Wouldn't you say? Not unexpected either, given it's been, 22 months of them telling us that everything's always refracted, never no Atmo day. So obviously I've been barked at for 20 months plus about this Bob the Science Guy. So you do not think that's going to be the first thing I ask about when you come here to me? Yeah, I'm going to ask you about that atmospheric refraction that you're always claiming is always in effect, except on no Atmo day. Because you're not going to be able to use the sextant unless you've got straight lines, as you made clear with your very limited understanding of how a sextant works. It's getting an angle from straight lines. So where'd you get them? I think I need an appointment.
Otherwise, a little reticent, Nathan, because unfortunately, as he showed in the Orbusters thing, the only place he can seem to get his straight line from is from this whore, which he has yet to define properly. Because he just pulls his whore out from nowhere. On his diagram, his whore should be touching his geometric horizon. And that's why he ran off, because he has this contradiction that he's generating a straight line magically from nowhere in his model, because it uses the horizon, which on his model wouldn't generate a straight line. Hence why he's cut off. But yeah, he needs to define where he gets his whore from.
Sorry, his what?
His whore. That's how he put it on his diagram.
Horse?
Whore. H-O-R.
His prostitute?
That's what I heard. Whore. It is whore. H-O-R.
I didn't write it on the board. He spelled it H-O-R, but that's the thing that defines his level, his whore.
You kept saying that. I was like, am I hearing correctly?
I'm like, did he say prostitute?
No, he is actually saying whore. But with that, I am going to say, if you're watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, just try and get the sniggers under control while I do this outro, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!